So in the previous session, we have discussed about insert statements and how to insert the records inside the object we have discussed, and how can we remove the unnecessary records from the object by using delete statement we have discussed. And once the records has been removed from the object, then how can we restore those records back to the actual object by using a delete statement we have discussed. Now today we'll see update statement. So we have to understand what exactly is the update statement and what is the use. How can we perform this update operation and what are the steps that we used to follow upon performing update operations. We'll see one by one. And what is the syntax we used to follow to update the records. Okay, we'll see with practical. So now tell me, what do you mean by update operation? What we can do? Hmm. Update operation means what? Existing record. That means whatever the records that we have created in the past, in those records, if you want to modify some of the field values, if you want to modify some of the field values, it may be one field value also or multiple field values also, then we can go with the help of update operations. So update operation is used to modify the existing field values of our records. So previously we have created some records. Now I would like to change some of the field values in the records so that we can use the help of update statement. Now, tell me generally how to update the records inside your object. How can you modify? Can you give me some steps? Hmm. For example, let me take an object here. For example, I'm having a lead object. In this lead object, we are having a record. Now we are having this record. These are the lead records are available. For example, assume that we have a lead record, David Monaco. This is a lead record. For this lead record, what is the lead status over here that we have? What is the lead record status? Working contacted. Now, I want to change this status to closed converted. Now, whatever the lead record that we have, this lead record status I want to change to closed converted. What can I do? How to do this one? Hmm. Forget about Apex programming. In this user interface, how to do that? How? How? Click on this record name first. Okay. Click on the record name, David Monaco. That means click on the record name. That means click on the record name means what? We can collect the record values from the database object. Okay. On the screen, it is showing only the record name. It is showing that company name, state of that lead person, lead status. It is showing some 5 to 6 column values. When I click on the record name, that means what? It is collecting the record data from the database. From the lead object, it is collecting the record. These are the complete details are available here. These are the details of the lead record. Now, what you are going to do now, I want to change this lead status to close converted. So just you can go to that field, assign the new value. What value you would like to assign now? I want to change this lead status to close converted. I'm assigning some new value. That means what we did as of now, we have click on the record name. Click on the record name means what? Collecting the record from the object. Generally, how to collect the record from the object in programming language? I want to get the record from the database table. What we can do? How to get the record from the object? I know the record name, David Monaco. This record I want to get from the database. What we need to do in Apex programming? Hmm. Based on the record name, how to collect the record data? What needs to be done? Give me the topic name. That's it. That is enough. Yes, okay, well query. Right. So now here, as soon as once you click on the record name, record data will be getting collected. That means what? We need to collect the record data from the database table, which you are going to update. For that one, we have to use this query. That is a step one. Then once the record is visible to you, then assign the values whatever you want. I'm changing the status value to close converted. I'm changing the rating to hard. I'm giving the industry to biotechnology. I'm giving the annual revenue value as some 20 lakhs. So assign the new values whatever you want. That means this is a step two. As a step one, get the record from the database table. That is nothing but SQL query. As a step two, we need to assign some new values for the fields whatever you want. And once it is done, what needs to be done? Click on save button. As soon as once you click on save button, what it will do, it will update these details back to the database. So once you click on this save button, it will be updating the data back to the database. How many steps we did as of now? 3 steps we did. What are those? Just you have to click on the record name. That means get the record from the database table through SQL query here. Then as a step two, assign the new values for the fields whatever you want. As a step three, commit the changes back to the database by using update step. These are the 3 steps that we did. In programming also same 3 steps we have to do. In programming also same 3 steps. Okay, understood the concept here? Whatever the steps that we are doing in this user interface level, same functionality, same steps we need to do through programming as part of Apex. Okay, now in this case, let's see here what needs to be done. Let me explain. For example, I'm having an object. I have an object. Assume that this is an account object. In this account object, I'm having some fields like account ID field, name field, rating, and industry. These are the fields. Now, I'm having this account object now. I'm having this ID field, name, rating, industry. These are the fields. Now inside this object, I would like to place some records. I'm placing few records inside my object. I'm placing the first record 001 667790. Assume that this is ID. Name is some Sandeep Kumar. Rating some hot. Industry finance. Second record 001 238840. Name is some Tata Motors. Rating value cold. Industry manufacturing. Third record 001 119044. Now the record name is some Reddy Labs. Rating value warm. industry some manufacturing. Fourth record 001 643387. Now I'm indicating as some Kishore Kumar, rating value cold, industry some insurance. And the fifth record 001, okay, 290, okay, 564. Name some Anil Kumar, rating value some heart, industry some technology. So these are the five records are available inside my object. These are my customers here. Now I'm having five records are available inside my account object here. We have their IDs, names, rating, and the industry values. Now, from the manufacturing industry customers, I'm generating some huge revenue. Because since last 6 months, I'm generating some huge revenue from manufacturing customers. So I want to give that heart rating. That means I want to give some more priority to those customers. So more priority means what? I want to give the rating value as hot. So as of now, they're having cold in the warm. So now I would like to update those rating values as hot so that we can give some more preference. We can offer some more discounts also to those customers. So now tell me in this case here, how can we update these values? I want to modify these values. So whatever the records are available, whose industry is equals to manufacturing, for those values, I would like to update this rating value as hot. Now tell me how to do this one. Tell me the same steps, no change. Step one, what? Sorry? Right. We need to collect these records here. Whatever the records you are going to update, how many records you are going to update now? Two records. What two records? Whose industry is equals to manufacturing. So, how to get those two records? By using that SOQL query. So that here as a step one, collect the records first. Whatever the records you are going to update, collect those records first. How can we collect those records? By using an SOQL query. So now I'm going to preparing an SOQL query over. I would like to prepare an SOQL query. I want to prepare an SOQL query. So now through this SOQL query, I would like to collect those matching records. Whatever the account records are available, okay, whose industry is equals to manufacturing, those records I would like to collect. Now, can you tell me that query here, how to prepare that query to fetch those records? We need to write that select statement. I'm preparing a query here. Select ID of the record, name, rating, industry from account where industry equals to manufacturing. So whatever the account records are available, whose industry is equals to manufacturing, we need to collect those account records. Because these are the records I would like to update. So first of all, fetch the records which you want to update from the database. Now, whenever I'm executing this SOQL query, this query will return how many records now? Two records. Because there are two matching records are available, these are the two records. Now my query is going to return these are the two records. So these are the two records are going to be returning by SOQL query. Now my query is going to return these two records. Then how to store these two records now? How to store these two records? What we have to do?
We
Sorry?
have to use list collection
Okay. We need to use a list collection. List of what?
account.
Account. Right. Now list of account. So I'm preparing a list collection. List of account. So whatever the two records we have collected, those two records I would like to store inside my collection. There is a collection. LST accounts. These are the two records. So now here in this case, as a step one, what we did, we are going to be collecting the required records. This is the step one. This is the step one. As a step one, we are going to be collecting the record. Whatever the records you are going to update, those records we are going to be collecting from the Salesforce subject and we are going to storing them in the form of a collection. This is the step one. So now once the records are available with you, then now tell me what is the next step? What needs to be done? Sorry? Assign the new values, right? This is a collection, right? Now how can we assign the new value for these records? We need to iterate the collection from starting to ending by using enhanced for loop. Use the enhanced for loop and collect each and every record over here, and then for those records assign these values. So whatever the records that we have, iterate the collection from starting to ending by using enhanced for loop, and then for each and every record assign the new values. Now I would like to assign the new values for this particular fields. Now I'm going to be assigning here. So now whatever the records are collected, iterate the collection from starting to ending and then assign some new values for these particular records. Now these are the two records are available here. I want to assign this rating value here. I want to update this value as what? Hot. Now I'm going to be updating this value as hot. Here also I'm assigning the value as hot. Okay? Understood the concept? This is the second step. So as a step two, we need to assign the new values for these particular records. This is the step two. Okay, understood the concept over here? Now, so once it is done, then what needs to be done? Once the records has been assigned with the new values, then what needs to be done? We need to commit these changes back to the database. We have to commit these changes back to database. So whatever the values we have assigned, update to database. Once the records has been assigned with the new values, then commit these changes back to the database. This is the third step. As a step 3, we are going to be updating these values back to the database by using update step. Is the third. These are the 3 simple steps we used to follow. If it is insert, it's a straightforward operation. Okay, and then delete straightforward. Undelete straightforward, but update statement requires these steps. So whenever we are updating the records back to the database here, this is the background process will be happening. In when you go to the user interface also same. Like if you want to modify the record values, then as soon as once you click on this record name, for example, if you want to modify this record value, some Christian Akin, as soon as once you click on this record name, it will be sending a request to that Salesforce database by using SOQL. It will collect the record details will be getting visible over. This is the step 1. Now, once the record is visible to you, then we can able to assign the values whatever you want. I'm changing this lead status value to I'm assigning to closed converted. industry are measuring as chemicals, so that we can assign the values here. We can assign the new values for each and every field, okay, by iterating the records, okay, with the help of this enhanced function. Then once the records has been assigned with the new values, click on save. That means it will be updating the changes back to the database. So this is what we are going. Yes, it will override the existing values of that record. Okay, it will override that values. But in this case, please make sure that whenever we are updating the record values, okay, upon updating this record data, we should have the record ID must and should. Okay, record ID should be mandatory here. If I'm not passing the record ID, it can't update the record values because here these values are going to be overwriting here. This value will be assigned for which record here. This is a record ID. So based on the record ID, it will go to the record in that rating field. It will assign that value as hot. So that here, whenever we are updating the record, compulsorily we have to pass record ID must ensure. Okay, please remember this point here. Understood the concept now? No. Make a note of this one here. Update state. By using update statement, we can update either one or more records inside the object by assigning the new values for the required fields. By assigning the new values for the required fields. Now, while updating the records, we have to supply the record ID also. While updating the records, we have to supply the record ID also. Now syntax. Update only one record. If you want to update only one record, we have to use update record reference. If you want to update multiple records, then we have to use update the collection object. Third one, by using database class method. Database dot update. Here we need to pass the collection name and a boolean parameter, which returns the result in the form of database dot save result type. While updating the records in the object, we have to follow the below steps. Save result class. Because here it will be storing the result of your record operation upon updation. While updating the record inside the object, what exactly were operation result to store that it is using save result. This we will see during database class methods. Done with these steps? Now, let's see. As a step one, collect the required records from the object through an SOQL query which needs to be get updated. For example, I'm using list of account. LST accounts equals to select the ID of the account, name, rating, industry, phone, from account, where industry equals to some banking. There is a step one. As a step two, assign the new values for the required fields. Then I would like to check if LST accounts is not empty. I'm using the for loop for each and every account record from the collection. I'm assigning the new values. ACC record dot rating equals to heart. ACC record dot phone equals to I'm assigning somewhere. Now, as a step three, once all the records has been assigned with the new values, then commit the changes back to the database. By using update step. We need to specify update LST accounts. Update LST accounts. Done with this? Now, then how can we perform these operations by using this update statements? Now let's see with the practical. Clear up to this one? These three steps? If you know these are three steps, you can update any object records also. Now, let's see. Let me take an object. For example, we have account object. In my account object, I'm having so many account records are available. I'm having so many account records. So whatever the account records are available, whose industry is equals to energy. These are the energy industry account records. These are the three records are available. For these three records, I want to assign the annual revenue value as 92 lakhs. 92 lakhs. And I want to assign the type as installation partner. Installation partner. And then I want to assign the SLA as platinum. I want to assign customer priority as high. I want to assign the active status as yes. This is my requirement. So whatever the account records that we have, whose industry is equals to energy, those records I want to collect. For those records, I want to assign the annual revenue value as 92 lakhs and the type as installation partner, customer priority as high, active status as yes, SLA as platinum. These are the values I would like to assign. Then how can we do this one? Now let's see with the practical. Okay. Now, make a note of this use case requirement. Write an Apex program to update the account records, to update the energy industry account records, energy and industry account records by assigning the values as below. Now we need to assign the account records annual revenue value. I want to assign 92 lakhs. Customer priority, I want to assign high. SLA, platinum. Type, installation partner. Active status, yes. This is my requirement. Done with this? Now, how can we write this piece of code? Now tell me. I'm going to my Salesforce Arc. I'm going to my class which I have prepared in the previous session. Let me open the class which I have prepared. I'm preparing a method. Public static void update account records. So whatever the account records are available, whose industry equals to energy, those account records I want to collect, I want to assign some new values for those fields. Now as a step one, get the records through SOQL query. Now I'm using this list of account. Why? Because I don't know how many matching records are available. That's what I'm using collection. If I know if we are having only one record, then definitely I will go with single variable of that here. But I don't know how many matching records are available in this object. So I'm going with collection. LST accounts, select the ID of that account, name, rating, industry, annual revenue, type, customer priority, active status, SLA, from account where industry equals to energy. So whatever the field values you are going to update, then just first of all, we have to query those field values. Suppose if I'm not querying this SLA column here, whenever I'm assigning this SLA value and when I try to update, it will show the error message. Without querying that field value, we can't assign, we can't update the value. So that please remember that. Remaining column names are optional. Okay, ID is required. Name is not required because I'm not doing anything with the name. Now, industry I'm using here. Rating value I'm not doing anywhere here. I'm not updating rating value here. So I'm preparing the conditions based on what? Industry. And then what I'm updating? Annual revenue, type, priority, active status, SLA. These values I'm updating. So remaining values are not required here. But ID should be must and should. Because upon updating the record compulsorily along with the record values, we need to pass record ID also. Okay. Now let's see. That is a step one. As a step two, assign the new values for the fields. How can we do that? Let me check that collection. Whether collection may be empty or not. Whatever the condition we have given here, with this condition matching records may be there, may not be there. Now, in this case, I would like to check the condition if LST accounts is not empty. If the collection is not empty, that means if the collection contains some records, then iterate the collection from starting to ending by using enhanced for loop. So I'm using an enhanced for loop. Collect each and every account record from the collection. Now assign the values for the fields. Okay. Now assign the values for the fields. Whatever the field values you want to assign, just you can able to assign. SEC record dot annual revenue. I want to assign the value as 92 lakhs. Don't give any commas because it's a numerical. If you're giving comma means it's like as a string. It will show the compilation error. SEC record dot type. I'm passing the value installation partner. SEC record dot customer priority. SEC record dot SLA. Active status I'm assigning the value. Yes. Okay. Once you are done with assigning the values, then as a step 3, update the changes to database. Observe this one. I'm not writing DML statements inside the for loop. Okay. So now this is the collection. Take the first record, assign some new values. These values will be there into the collection. Then collect the second record, assign some new value. Third record, assign like that. Once all the records has been assigned with the new values, then outside the for loop, we need to update the changes back to the database. Update LST accounts. Clear? Understood the concept now? Now, these are the 3 simple steps we used to follow in order to update the records inside your Salesforce object. Now, let me invoke this method. Now, I'm updating this account records inside my account object. So, let me execute this piece of code. Now, my data will be updated back. Then, once the operation has been done, go back to your object records, refresh the screen now. Now, annual revenue has been assigned as 92 lakhs. And then automatically these two formulas will be calculated by default. Type we have assigned as installation partner here, and then we have given customer priority high, active status as yes. When you go to the record, we can check the SLA value also. If you want, we can add that SLA field also here. Select fields to display. Let's check that SLA field value. We have assigned as platinum.
Please put your hands together and please
Okay.
give a thing that this feeling that
So now
you
this
are
is how we
silent.
can able to update the record values by using this update
It's a
statements
blockbuster,
depends upon our
again,
business requirement.
blockbuster after another. You know, I was called this weird golden.
Now, clear? Now make a note of this code. Done with this? Now, next one more use case. So let me place this piece of code. Done, everyone? Next. One more use case now. Now my requirement is we have users. We have users in our Salesforce arc. Let me go to my user object. I'm going to the user object. Now I will pass one username to my method. These are the users. Now tell me all these users are in active status or not? Yes. Because here the checkbox has been selected here. So these users are in active status. These are the usernames. Okay, these are the usernames. Now my requirement is I want to prepare a method. For this method, I will pass one username. Which username I will pass, I don't know. Randomly, I will select. Either it may be this one or this one or this one or this one, anything. I will pass one username to my method as a parameter. Now, whatever the username that I have supplied, then it has to collect that user details here. It has to deactivate the user. When, if the user is activated here, if the user is inactive, then I want to deactivate that user here. That means what? For this is active field, I want to assign the value false. Suppose if the user is already in deactivation status, do I need to deactivate it again? No. I don't want to waste my delete update statement. I don't want to waste my DML statement. I would like to come back. That is my requirement. So I would like to write a small piece of code to deactivate the user based on the specified username. Okay? Now, make a note of this use case. Write an Apex program to deactivate the user based on the specified username at runtime. Done with this? Now, let's see how can we write this piece of code. I'm preparing a method. Public static void deactivate user. I'm passing the user record name. Public static void deactivate user. I'm passing the username. Based on that username, I would like to deactivate that user here. Now, first of all, let me check whether this username is in having some value or not. So let me check that parameter value. If it is not equals to null and it is not equals to empty, that means whatever the username that you have supplied, that parameter value is not null and not empty. That means it is having some value inside this. If it is having some value inside that, then I would like to collect the user record. I would like to deactivate. I'm getting this user record. Select ID of the user, first name, last name, username is active from user object where username equals to colon user record name and is active equals to true. So I'm collecting the user record for what to deactivate. When you will deactivate, if the user is active, then only we can deactivate here. So whatever the username that I'm going to supply, with this username, do we have any user record exist in my object or not, which is in active status over here? If yes, I'm collecting. Now tell me, whatever the username that we have, with that username, how many users we can have in my organization? Only one. Because that already we know usernames are always unique across all the region servers. So whatever the username that I'm going to supply, with that username, only one user record is available. That means my query returns how many users information now? One user record. If the query returns one record, how to store that? Do we need a list collection or a single variable? Single variable. So now I'm defining a user record here. I'm defining a single variable over here. So now whatever the user that we want, based on the username, we are collecting the user record details, we are storing that. Now I would like to check if the user record information is available. User info dot ID. If user info dot ID not equals to null, that means if the user record is available, then what we need to do? We need to deactivate. How to deactivate? User info dot is active equals to, I'm assigning the value false, then update these changes back here. Update user info. That's it. So now we are checking that whether user record is exist or not with this username, that too in active status. If the user record is available, I'm storing inside this variable. Then I'm checking that really record has been collected or not. If the user record ID is not null, then I'm assigning the is active value as false. I'm updating this changes back to the database. Okay. Now, so now let me test it here. I'm invoking this method. We need to pass the username. For example, this is a username. Here I'm passing manager user. Right now, manager user is what? Inactive or inactive? Active. So now here I'm passing this username. When I click on execute, now this user will be deactivated. Refresh the user interface now. Manager user has been deactivated. So user can't log into my Salesforce Arc. Clear? Make a note of this code. We can show the message. Once the user has been deactivated, here we can show the message user has been deactivated. Done with this code? Now. So let me place this piece of code. Done with this code? Next. And then we'll see few more examples on these update operations in next session. Okay, next session will be on Monday. Tomorrow we don't have the session. So next session will be on Monday again. Monday we'll continue with this update operation here. And then we'll see the concept of upsert and then merge statements as well. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.